The text message glowed on my phone screen at 2:47 a.m., slicing through the darkness of our bedroom like a blade. Meet me at the usual spot. Midnight. Don't tell him. My heart thudded, a sickening lurch, as I stared at the words meant for someone else. Lisa, my wife of 7 years, lay beside me, her breathing soft, oblivious to the storm brewing in my chest. The phone buzzed again. Another message. Bring the red dress. You know why. I felt my throat tighten, bow rising, as the world I'd built with her began to crack. The next morning, the kitchen smelled of burnt toast and her lavender perfume, a scent that once felt like home but now twisted my gut. Lisa hummed, flipping pancakes, her auburn hair catching the sunlight streaming through the window. You're quiet today, Nate, she said, her voice light, almost too light, like she was performing. I forced a smile, my fingers trembling around my coffee mug. Just tired. I lied, my mind replaying the messages I'd seen. Who was she meeting? Why the red dress? And why the secrecy? I wanted to scream, to demand answers, but something held me back. Fear, maybe, or the desperate hope I'd misunderstood. Over the next week, the signs piled up like shards of broken glass. Her phone, once left carelessly on the counter, now never left her hand. She'd laugh at messages when she thought I wasn't looking, her eyes darting away when I entered the room. At night, she'd slip out of bed, claiming she needed water, but I'd hear the faint tap of her texting in the hallway. Each moment chipped away at my trust, but I clung to denial. Lisa loved me. She'd never betray me. We'd built a life, our cozy apartment, our Sunday rituals of lazy brunches and old movies. She wouldn't throw that away. Would she? Then came the bombshell. Over dinner, her fork clinked against the plate as she looked at me, her green eyes wide with a mix of joy and nervousness. Nate, I'm pregnant, she said, her voice trembling with a smile. My heart soared for a split second, until I remembered the messages. The math didn't add up. We'd been trying for years, but the doctors said my chances were slim, a fact we'd mourn together. Now, her announcement felt like a punch, not a gift. That's amazing. I managed, my voice hollow, my mind screaming. Whose is it? I started digging. Quietly, obsessively. I checked her phone when she showered, my hands shaking as I scrolled through deleted messages she hadn't fully erased. There were 3 names, Mark, Ethan, and someone called Jay. Cryptic text about last time in the hotel made my stomach churn. One message, from Ethan, read, "You were wild in that red dress. Can't wait for round 2. My vision blurred with rage and heartbreak, the words searing into my brain. I pictured her in that dress, the one she wore for me on our anniversary, now tainted by someone else's hands. I confronted her that night, my voice low to keep from shattering. Who's Ethan? I asked, holding her phone like evidence. The color drained from her face, her lips parting in a silent gasp. It's not what you think, she stammered, but her eyes betrayed her. Guilt flickered there, raw and undeniable. Nate, I love you. It was a mistake, a one-time thing. Her voice cracked, tears spilling, but her words felt rehearsed, like she'd practiced this moment. A one-time thing with 3 men. I spat, my voice rising despite myself. She flinched, her hands twisting in her lap. I didn't know how to tell you. I was scared you'd leave. Her confession poured out in fragments, late nights at wake, hotel meetups, moments of weakness she swore meant nothing. She claimed the baby was mine, that the others were just flings, but her voice wavered, and I saw the lie in her eyes. I wanted to believe her, to cling to the love we'd had, but the betrayal was a wound too deep. I walked out, the door slamming behind me, her sobs echoing in my ears. For days, I wrestled with what to do. Anger burned, but so did love, tangled with memories of her laughter, her warmth. I couldn't just walk away. Not yet. I needed answers, and I needed her to feel the weight of what she'd done. I started piecing together a plan, not out of spite, but from a desperate need for closure, for control in a world that had spiraled out of my grasp. I tracked down Ethan through a mutual friend's social media, a cocky gym bro who bragged about his conquests. Mark was harder to find, but a dive into Lisa's email revealed he was a co-worker, married, with a kid on the way. Jay remained a ghost, but 2 was enough. I sent them anonymous messages, cryptic but pointed. She told me everything. How's your wife feel about it? Ethan's reply was instant. Panicked. Who is this? I didn't know she was married. Mark didn't respond, but I saw him leave her office in a hurry the next day, his face pale. Then I turned to Lisa. I didn't yell or accuse. Instead, I sat her down, my voice calm but cold. I'm getting paternity tests, I said, watching her flinch, and I'm filing for divorce. Her eyes widened, tears welling again, but I pressed on. You don't get to lie to me anymore. If the baby's mine, I'll be there for it. But you and I, we're done. Her sobs filled the room, but I felt a strange relief, like a weight lifting even as my heart broke. The test came back weeks later, confirming what I'd feared. The baby wasn't mine. I showed her the results, her face crumpling as she tried to explain, to beg. But I was done listening. I didn't need revenge in the way I'd first imagined. No public shaming, no dramatic showdown. The real revenge was walking away, reclaiming my life, and letting her live with the consequences. I moved out, started fresh, and found peace in the quiet moments where her betrayal no longer defined me. Months later, I heard through a friend that Lisa was alone, raising the baby, her life unraveling as Ethan and Mark distanced themselves. I felt no joy in her pain, only a hollow sadness for what we'd lost. But as I stood in my new apartment, the city lights flickering outside, I realized I'd survived. The betrayal had shattered me, but it hadn't broken me, and that was victory enough.